What's up, everybody?
Hey, how is it going?
How are you? And how are you, babe?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Cheers.
We've been off for like
We missed a week.
1 week, so
Yes.
it's been 2 weeks since we were here.
You were out living life,
I was
partying
living
it up.
life. I went to Vegas, people, for the first time.
How was it?
Yeah, it was super fun. It wasn't actually. So when people say they go to Vegas, it wasn't a trip like that. Okay, let's first put that out there.
You have to
I
put that
did
out
see
there.
the strip, and I did see some of the lights and all that, and did some fun stuff. But I went to a retreat of a community I run with, and we for like 4 days, or was it 4 days?
Yes.
I should ask, how did you do? Because he stayed behind with all 4 kids. Did you survive?
Of
babe?
course, of course. You know me.
You did more than survive.
I'm
Yes.
fine. I get
Yes.
into whatever it takes
Yeah.
mode and just
Yeah.
go and do it. So.
Yeah, but it was amazing. We had a great time. Stayed at an amazing hotel, and it was beautiful. And I love new places, new scenery, and all of that. So that was really fun.
Experiences, right?
Experiences, and new
How-
people.
Yeah. How are you today? Hey,
Yes,
Stephanie.
Stephanie.
How's it going? So you are amazing and
Yes.
awesome. Here's to you. Cheers.
So, but that's why we weren't
Yes.
on yesterday
Last
oh my
week.
word. I'm still catching up. But last week I left on Thursday, and anyway,
Anyway.
that is why we weren't on for like 2 weeks. And so, what are we chatting about since we didn't talk for like 2 weeks?
Since we didn't talk.
That's always
Yeah.
my thing. I'm like, what do you want to talk about? I'm like, did we just talk?
You think we just talked? No. I'm like we just talked live.
We did.
And we talked in general. No, so the title I put on here about last night, was it a date?
Oh,
so
about last night. Ooh.
So I was like, okay, when you go grocery shopping, like grab a bottle of wine. We haven't had wine for a while, and
Yes.
we'll just drink
Yeah, I
it
was
sometime
like, "Ooh,
together.
What are we planning? Are we doing something? Are we celebrating something? He had
Right.
asked me, can you get a bottle of wine? I'm like, okay.
So anyway, then we were talking yesterday, and there's like, there's some things that we should learn.
Yeah,
Correct.
we were talking about
We're
business.
talking
stuff,
about business.
our business, building our business. And so yes, we were talking about learning different things. And yes, then
Yeah, hold on. So, hey, Cynthia, Jason, and Tracy, and Dorinda, how are you guys doing? So, yeah, it was like we need to learn some things,
Yeah.
or wanted to go through some videos and learn, get some training. And you were like, I'm not sure if you're super motivated about it. So I'm like,
Right.
okay, to support your personality style, right? To support who you are, you love doing things together.
yes.
So
Yes.
if I there's some things it's like you should learn. I'm great just going by myself and
Yeah.
learning it when
Yes.
and digging in when I have time. But I was
Yeah.
like, okay, to support you, and what would be more motivating is to do things together, because you are always about together.
Yes.
And the more the merrier.
Yes.
So in light of that, I was like, okay, we could do that.
So it was a whole setup. I was not wrong, or what?
No, it was. It was
Setting
not a
up.
setup. So that's where I'm getting.
Okay.
So-
Okay.
I
Wait.
Then it was like, and of course, you're an external processor on top of that. So if
Mm-hmm.
there's things you're learning, if you can talk about it and say, what do you think
That's when
here? This
things
is what I'm
drop.
seeing, hearing.
Yeah.
That will help you process it. So doing that together as well. And then I was like, wow, if we add, if we have a glass of wine.
Now
as
we're
we're
putting the
watching-
boys to bed. Let me give a little. We're putting the boys to bed, and you said, "Oh, what did you say?" So we opened a bottle of wine, and listen to this training.
Listen to the
or
training,
something.
right?
Listen to
Because
the training.
then I was like, okay, so if we will listen to it together, watch it together, you can process it. That's all great. And then, we have a glass of wine and, just hang out and relax. Like,
Yeah.
create an atmosphere with it.
Yeah. So at first, when he
creative
dropped
experience.
that line, I was like, there comes the bottle of wine. That's why you asked me to go get a bottle of wine.
No. So then you put on last night.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's what I was thinking. Don't say no.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking
I know.
initially when you were upstairs saying.
So then you put the
Joe.
post on. You're like, this is date night. My husband's idea, date night, a date, and,
Well, yeah,
and
so
learning something. I was like, it wasn't even a date. I was just supporting
Yeah.
your personality.
I was making a joke because then we were sitting on the couch and we were actually not learning yet. We were just having a conversation and cheers, and that was really nice. And all of a sudden we set up the computer, the laptop, and we're getting ready to listen to this training, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my word, this is a nice picture. And I could so say my husband's thought, or what did I say?
Something.
My
My husband's idea
of date night, wine and learning, since he's a high C and there's always value in learning, right? And so high value in learning.
No, not in researching, not in learning, in researching. Like,
And mind you, it is, by this time, it is 9:30 maybe. Our girls had just gone up to their rooms, and I already start like half dozing off for my first time. I doze off a couple times a night. Around like 8 o'clock, I like struggle.
We'll sit
10
down,
minutes.
around 8 or so as a family. We'll read something together. We'll, see what Father's saying, or just spend some time together. And normally she's struggling to stay awake at this time. Oh my
word, it's like real, right? We're listening, and I'm like,
so I'll be reading something or whatever, and she'll be like,
every night I'm struggling. But then we have to get up, get the boys to bed and stuff, and then I wake up and I come down. We spend some time with our girls before they go off to their rooms. Anyway, and I'm like, and now we need to do this learning. But we got some good wine. It was nice. And I was like, okay. We had some good conversation before we said, what's it like? Okay, let's do this thing, right? So he was really nice. And that made it more fun because it was all together and we were just kind of sharing whatever, our hearts. And then I did stay awake the whole, I don't even know.
I know, because by that time, of course, if it starts being something serious,
it's like an hour.
Then you can you can start dozing off, even though you went to party and you dozed off already. Earlier.
Yeah. Well, at one point we hadn't started the training yet.
So
I'm like, he's like, "Are you falling asleep while you're talking?"
So I'm of course early to bed, early to rise is my jam. You are like, if I don't stay up until whatever, I wasted my day. I'm thinking if I stayed in bed until 8 or didn't get ready until 8 o'clock, I've wasted my day.
Yeah.
You're the complete opposite. You're like, if I go to bed before 10 or 11, what is it? Something like that?
Yeah, normally it's like 11-ish.
You wasted your day. You feel if you go to bed before
before 11.
10 or 11.
Well, it's like that's my time to just unwind.
No, but I'm
to.
helping people recognize different approaches.
Right, but I'm saying that's even if we hang out as a family and stuff, I still feel like I'm doing something for somebody else, and in the evening I'm doing something for myself, where he's like, I'm doing something for myself, I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm doing something for myself, sleep not there. I want to just have a good time and watch something or whatever,
Going to sleep for me is not doing something for myself. It's
because it's connected to health.
No, well, and it's
I mean, yes.
yeah, and pre-planning, yes. So it's like
Yeah.
I go
So
and
it has value for you.
I go as a refiner, as a C personality. I go and say I need to get up at this time in order to either go do what I need to do or to start my day strong where I'm happy, and then I count back and say health says get X amount of sleep, So I count back my hours and say, then I will need to go to bed at this time.
At this time, yeah.
And of course, for you,
I
your
do get up at a certain
personality
time.
style is like if you set the parameters and the boundaries and the routine, then you're taking away the fun and the freedom and the spontaneity.
Yeah, and spontaneity. That's
and
definitely,
if you have to go to bed earlier, then you wasted your day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I see that in my kids too. Sometimes they like seriously have falling asleep on the couch, and I'm like, I mean, 1 + 1 is 2. Just go to bed, right? You're tired. Yeah, but it's only, whatever time it is. And I'm like, oh, yeah,
So-
I get you, girl. I get you.
Remember, there's no right or wrong.
Right,
it's
right.
recognizing, understanding yourself and understanding the people around you and why do you do what you do? Why do they do what they do? And then being confident just to say, hey, this is me and that's okay. And
Yeah. And of course, like in our relationship, we have things that we both enjoy, the same things. They're not many. But because we're opposite, we do need to really be intentional. So I did it was just a fun thing to me that I felt like, oh, he thought this whole thing through, right? Get a bottle of wine. That was like a whole day before or whatever what we were talking about, because that was already on the grocery list. And then he makes a comment about, shall we do this tonight? And it has learning involved. And we had a conversation in the afternoon. And so I know already by who he is that he thinks about these things. Not in I'm going to set you up and it's a trap to get you to do what I want you to do. Not in that way, right? So that was just a joke. I set up a setup, right? But so I didn't feel like that.
But
at all,
I needed to
even.
clarify because my idea of a date night, I wasn't trying to make a date night out
and
of
it wasn't.
learning.
We didn't say tonight is a date night. But I was just saying, oh, this is the perfect, my husband's perfect idea of a date night. We get the.
No, please. I'm a little more fun than that.
No, and he is. That's what I'm saying. We do love some of the same things. But in the everyday going, he likes to go to bed on time. I don't. When we go and watch something, it's sometimes hard to find something that we both like because we don't like the same thing. And so often, if there isn't an actual movie that we both want to see because we heard good things about it, he will be watching something totally different than me. So we will spend time together, but we're both watching something else, And so you need to be intentional about these things. So even I knew that he thought about what I care about. And so learning, not fun for me, okay? I go by the whatever, what do you say that? Fly in my pants, seat in my pants. And experience is everything for me. So I speak out of my experience. But I do know learning is good. So I do.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, I do. I discipline myself. But spending time with him needs to be fun, right? And spontaneous. I don't want it to be a thing.
Well,
but I know he thought it through of doing it together would motivate me way more. Sitting there with him in the evening, right? And we're connecting and we're talking about what we're learning, which also I really liked and that was fun. And then there was wine and that made it also nice.
Oh, created an experience.
Yeah,
right?
an experience, right?
So that's why
So
that's
thank
why
you.
that's why
I felt very
that's why I decided to add a glass of wine to it to create more of an experience for you.
and that's why I tried really hard to stay awake, and I did. But the lady that was teaching, I do really like her and enjoy her. So
yeah. So the funny thing is, with your personality style,
yeah,
right? You discipline yourself and get up in the morning, but
I do 6:30.
for you, it's your time first thing is like, I need
Oh
my...
yeah, say the line you said. Say the line you said. Oh my word. Oh my word.
So I'm like,
I just don't know when to do these things.
I'm like, last night we're talking, I'm like, I don't know when to learn, because when I say, okay, let's learn something in the morning, you're like, no, that's my time. I need my own time to get into, to relax and get into things.
And I mean, by my time, I mean like peace time, like where my kids are not asking me 50,000 questions and I don't have to think about the day and figuring everything out for everybody. I can sit and, you know, spend time with the Father, read my Bible, whatever.
Drink
just
your coffee,
drink my coffee, like chill. Like in that hour, I do not have to do anything.
So, do you want to know when
That's why I get up early.
When
That's
I'm the
my
funniest, like I wake up, I get out of bed, and I'm ready to go. That is my style. So in the morning is when I'm making jokes or I'm like trying to be
like legit, and I'll be like
6:30.
It's not even 7.
She'll come down and she'll be sitting there like, I'm just like trying to chill, and I'll be goofing off. That's my time when if I'm going to be silly or
Yep, that's true.
Crazy and kind of ruffle your feathers, that's then, you know, I'll probe and do silly stuff. So anyway, she's like,
that's my time.
So we need to learn something. We need to dig into this thing. We need to work on it for, you know, the way we want to impact people and to help them change the world. We're saying, okay, the morning you don't want to learn, that's your own time. So then I'm like, okay, then we'll do it in the evening. But then in the evening, you're like, well, that's my time to chill out and have fun.
Well,
like,
because so my morning time is like
in the morning
and Father, where I'm like, my heart is open, I'm receiving revelation, I'm like, you know, the things I like really love and care about. So it's not just like my time that I'm...
You're making it sound super spiritual, babe.
No, but I'm saying
your personality style,
I like that.
Your personality style is a slow start and
slow
chill.
Start.
I want to have just some chill time.
Yes.
While
I drink my coffee. So my work time, as soon as I get off the couch to get up at 7:30, which sometimes I try to stretch it a little bit to 7:35 because it came too quick. That's when I get up, and I do not allow myself to be in a chill space until I'm done cooking dinner and I sit on the couch and I'm having family time. But then it's still family time. So when my evening comes, that's my time. Now I want to do only fun, like in my definition of fun, right?
So I'm like, we took the evening, we spent time with the kids, we were together as a family, whatever, or we ran them around.
Well,
Now we put the kids, if we try to talk or do anything serious when the kids are awake, they keep interrupting our conversation because we have a few vocal communicators in our family and they all want their chance to talk. So then put the kids to bed, then I'm like, okay, this is our time. I'm like winding down and tired, but I'll make space. We can learn then because you don't want to learn in the morning. Well, then we get to the night and that's like, it's time to have fun. I don't want to do any work. Like this is so I'm like, okay, in the morning, you don't have time because you chill. In the evening, you don't have time because you want to have fun. And every space in between, you're busy. So when...
Yesterday, and I was like, well, yeah, that's really true because, I mean, you know, we were specifically spending time on our business, which the rest of my day is, you know, everything else work. And so, anyway, yes.
I just made the joke because you are the spontaneous, fun personality.
So
I am the you know, the researching, planning, and I'll say we need to plan, we need to get it done. There's no feeling and emotion. Like if we need to put in a little extra and whatever. And again, there's not one better than the other.
No,
right? There's
but
not one better than.
That's really not like.
But then getting to the point where I'm like, okay. I see this gap, this needs to be done, and we need to find space for it. Then it was just funny navigating, you know.
But I love too how I recognized, you know, maybe in the at least the first 2 years or 3. I mean, let me be phrase. The first 10 years of a marriage. When I didn't understand my wiring and my design,
Yeah.
and certainly didn't understand yours because I didn't understand mine, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm
No,
learning.
I'm just playing.
I know, but we're learning.
You didn't understand mine? Of course you didn't.
Oh my word.
I didn't understand yours.
I would, by your comments, I would maybe get like slightly, you know, couldn't you like we haven't had, if it was a date or a reconnection or whatever, right? Like, why must we learn? And I wouldn't understand that before, where now I'm like, okay, you actually thought of me doing this. You know what I mean? And so that would be an easier thing or a more enjoyable thing. And that was really cool. And yeah,
So
I wouldn't have recognized that before.
So the reverse side, we talked about your gaps, but as a researcher, even in the past, when I was busy with my business all day, then I'd come home family time, and then I'd have some space in the evening. I had myself for a while under a lot of pressure to research and learn and gain, because as a refiner, as C, I like to be specialized in areas.
Yeah.
And those of you who are refiners, you would like to be a specialist in specific areas and go deep in that. Mm-hmm. And so then I'd take, you know, hours at night after the kids are in bed, and we'd take some time together. Then I'd find some space in there, and even though I was tired and exhausted from doing everything throughout the day, I would still put in a lot of time researching or learning some things, and because I had that pressure and never shut it off. Yeah. And I struggled to say, hey, you know, it's okay to spend some time to chill and watch a TV show for a long time. It's not wrong, and there's certain times. I went for a long time when I wouldn't watch anything until spend a little time on the weekends, because weekdays, like, I need to research, I need to learn, I need to whatever. Yeah. Because that was my schedule, and it got a little heavy on the flip side. Right. And so I needed to balance that out and say, hey,
also
there are some evenings
that
I need to turn my
process,
mind off a little bit. So.
Right. Yeah. That's a process too. And then me not understanding, and because we are so opposite, then immediately you being extreme in your thing would put pressure on me because I'm the other extreme. And then I felt like, well, maybe I should like read more, or and not just for pleasure, right? For learning. Maybe I need to do that at night because he's researching, so maybe I should also, like, you know. And not that what I was learning was not good. Right. It was. But I did it out of like a, you know, I felt like I needed to be more like him.
Because as an advancer, you tend to be a little more sensitive to, you know, hey, what am I accepted? Am I fitting here? Am I in a spot where I can, you know, motivate people, connect with people, and so. Yeah.
Now I'm like, on a Saturday, if we don't have to go anywhere, which doesn't happen very often, and we have a morning where I can legit, like, I don't have to get up from the couch at 7:30. Well, of course I don't wake up at 6:30 then. I don't set my alarm, but I'm used to waking up early, so I will still wake up early. I will come down and I'm just like, I might be playing a game on my phone, I might be reading a magazine, I might be, sometimes I watch something, but that I don't always do that in the morning. And then sitting with my coffee, and he'll come down and he'll have his books, and like he likes to read and stuff, and I'll be like, you know, I'm not, listen, I'm like, oh, this is so good. Where before I was like, maybe, you know, I should get up and start doing something. Where now I'm like, you know.
Yeah.
So good.
So again, recognize who you are, balance it out. But part of, for me, and just at the end here, you know, that pressure again, that shifted when I understood performance versus sonship
Right,
and
right.
belonging.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's
even
good.
though research was my strength, I was like, if I'm not performing, if I'm not stewarding every second
Yeah. Right.
for like learning or something, how do I expect to be successful or to have influence or to change the world the way God wants me to change the world? Or, you know, how we can change the world with Him and things. And then it went back to, okay, yes, let me do the things, let me take responsibility, let me put in the work, but
Yeah.
it's not out of a performance based. It's not like if you're not feeling every single second, you know, you're not doing good enough, you're not maximizing your skill set and who you are, and therefore you won't be successul type thing. And
So what I would say is,
what would you say?
we should have more wine and learning nights. How about it? No, I'm serious. If you're like, you know, we need to learn more, that's a motivator, doing it together.
So, you know, that just
I like
a tip. It was upgrading some of our strengths.
Yeah.
So just because we were looking at and saying, this is my personality style and the strengths I have, and just because it comes naturally and it's a strength doesn't mean you don't develop it. And that's what we were working on, developing those areas. And sometimes for some of you, it's like, well, it comes so naturally, why should I develop it? But if you focus on that and you develop and add skill, that's where you increase like so much faster than other people around you who are not that style. So, you know, that's what we're doing, is pressing into some areas for your personality style as a communicator, as an advancer who like shares experiences and excitement and belief. It's like, how do we take that to another level by adding some other tools and skill sets to that? The same with me and strategy and planning and being a researcher and a refiner. I can still add skill sets to that and not just say, hey, this is my strength and let's just run with it. I can keep making that strength stronger, because of course that's where you impact the world, where you like bring solutions and empower people. So
and that's the thing, right? You are a gift, and what you carry is a gift.
The world's a better place because you're there.
Right. And so your personality is also a gift to you, and understanding it and understanding your design is like, you can be so much more of who you are when you understand it, right? And it's not just I just do. No, I actually understand why I do what I do. And that makes it like, oh, that can bring this impact or this inspiration or motivation or result. Like it, you know, whoa, with that I can change the world, right? And anyway, all of that to say, wine and learning, baby, is where it's at for us. It's where it's at.
It's where it's at for you.
Yeah, you're like, I need some of my own time.
I need my space. No.
Anyway, let us know if you recognize anything about yourself or maybe about your partner or whatever, you know. And if you have any questions, always ask us. You can put it in comments, you can message us, whatever. Let us know. And we always want to interact with you.
Yes.
So thank you for being on. We will be on next week.
We will.
Because we won't be in Vegas this time.
You were having fun. I was doing the work. No, you were also. You were connecting with people and you're building relationships that are meaningful in what we are doing in life and for who we are as people. And so that's part of your skill set. I still do that as well, but that's
so bad. I need to travel for that. I need to go and have fun
Bummer.
for that.
Bummer.
Dang it. Anyway,
have an amazing
awesome,
week. Yes.
Guys. Have an amazing week.
Yes, rest of your week, whatever. Remember, you are awesome, and the world is truly a better place because you're in it. So continue to show up in who you are, and just make it better. So
yes. All right.
Enjoy. Cheers.
See you.
Bye.